Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing an impromptu video because this just showed up at my doorstep yesterday. I have to say it was just announced yesterday on Trend Mood, and I actually commented and I said I kind of love this. Like, why? This is the new collaboration with e.l.f. and Chipotle. I couldn't love this more because I'm a huge Chipotle lover. I had it for dinner last night. Ian and I eat it all the time. Chipotle is one of those places that's quick but also fresh, and it's always busy where we live. It's just a go-to for us. So if you haven't tried Chipotle, please do. Please get some guac and chips, get a burrito, get a bowl. It's just delicious and it's a staple in our household. So something about this collection just was so funny and endearing to me. I have never liked a food collection, like food and makeup. I've seen like burger palettes and ice cream palettes, and it just did nothing for me. But something about this really just hit home for me, okay? So I want to do a video on this. People seem really excited about it, so I thought it was really a good idea just to play around and see if the products are actually good quality. e.l.f. has been stepping up their game recently, so I kind of think that this is going to be great, but we will see. So we're just going to do an eye look. We're going to use the gloss, the sponges, and we're going to play around. I'm going to tell you about the products, and we'll see if they're worth it. So if you're new here, I would love for you to subscribe, and let's go ahead and begin. I want to go ahead and tell you about the products before we get into the demo. So let's start off with the palette. This is the outer packaging, e.l.f. Chipotle. Definitely has that Chipotle vibe with the silver because they wrap their burritos, or the tops on their bowls have that silver foil. So I think it's super cute, goes on brand with that. In here you do get a mirror and also 12 shades. So it looks like you have 8 metallics, different finishes, and 4 mattes. Some of the pans are larger as well. This is going to run you $16. So I swatched these and they swatched pretty nicely. There was nothing to complain about, nothing that I felt looked bad by any means, but I do think there's different finishes in the metallics. As you can see, some have like particles of glitter, some seem a little bit more foiled, and then others seem a little bit more satin or subdued. So I'm excited to play with this on the eyes. Next up, which I think is absolutely adorable, is the Extra Guac Face Sponge Duo. How freaking cute is this? So the packaging, they just knocked it out of the park. But I do have to say that these actually feel really nice and soft. This is the little guac sponge, or an avocado sponge. So it's flat on one side. It really is shaped like a little avocado. And then there's like a little baby sponge to go with it. I mean, it can't get any freaking cuter than this. I will say I probably won't use this much, but this reminds me of the Fenty Beauty sponge. If you've ever tried it, it actually feels soft, nice, like it will be really useful rather than just cute. So I will be using these to do my foundation, concealer, and we will see if they're worth it. But this is just the set dry, and this will run you $10. Also in this collection, they have the Hot Salsa Make It Hot Lip Plumping Gloss. This is $8, and they say it's a lip plumper. So it is a gloss that will have your palette looking plumped and spicy. In conclusion, you'll look fire. So we'll have to see if this will do a little bit of plumping. I swatched it. It's quite sheer, so don't let the color scare you, but we will try it out and see what we think. And then lastly, I have to say kudos to e.l.f. and Chipotle for really going the extra mile and creating this makeup bag, because this, I can't. I am speechless, okay? This is hilarious. So this is essentially a Chipotle makeup bag, and they even have the inside with the silver lining. I'm dead, okay? I'm dead. I just think this is so funny. This is $18, so I think it's a little pricey, but this is really something you're gonna buy just to honestly laugh your ass off, in my opinion. Yeah, it's functional and you could put makeup in there, but this is just, they really took it there. And I have to say, I commend you, okay? So I just wanted to show you guys this. I have nothing else to say. Also did want to tell you it's limited edition, so if you want it, definitely grab it. It's going to be available on their website on March 9th if you're a member, and March 10th for everybody else. The full collection is $52, so you can add to cart, but I just added everything up. There's no savings if you get the full collection, but I'm just assuming the ease of adding it to cart without having to add everything separately. So those are the details. We're going to go ahead and do a makeup look. We're going to start with the eyes, play around with the eyeshadow palette, then we're going to move on to face and try out the avocado guac Guac sponge, and then we'll finish with lips and I'll give you my full thoughts. So I've zoomed you in. We're gonna start on the eyes. I did wanna make note that the palette doesn't have the shade names on the actual palette. It is on a wraparound plastic piece, but you have to remove that to get to the palette. So it's sort of wrapped all the way around, so you have to break it to be able to open the palette and get to the shadows, which I don't love. The names on here are super cute, like corn salsa, hot salsa, you know, pinto beans, brown rice, but it's not actually printed on the palette. So just wanted to note that in case you were wondering. It's kind of something that I don't love about the palette, but I just wanted to let you guys know. So I'm gonna start off today and I'm just gonna go for it. We're gonna go in with this matte green shade. So I put a concealer on my lid and then I just set it lightly. I'm gonna stamp this right into my crease pretty heavily. The one thing I noticed about this palette so far is that there's only 4 mattes. I wish there was a little bit more mattes, but we shall see. So I'm sort of applying it right into my crease. Looks pretty pigmented, but I'm not worrying about blending too much right now because we are going to blend it out. So now that we've got that down, I am gonna jump into this brown shade in here. This is the most neutral shade. I'm gonna use this to blend out the edges. I hope it doesn't turn muddy. That's what we're looking for. And right on the edge here. And I'm using the lightest pressure possible because I don't want these to get muddy, but I just want to soften the line and blend this up. And you can also go back if you need to, and we might have to reinforce that green. They seem to be blending fine. Nice and pigmented, no patching. Listen, if you're a Chipotle lover, I need to know, what is your favorite order? If you're going to Chipotle, what are you ordering? Comment down below. I'm a very simple creature, so I typically do brown rice, chicken, corn, sour cream and cheese. I'm not a spicy type of chick, so I gotta have that sour cream and cheese to offset the chicken, but I also really love the guac. So it should look something like this. I'm gonna pop right back into the green shade because I feel like I want a more punchy green look, and I'm just gonna use that same brush and just kind of fuse these 2 shades together. Okay, so now I wanna go into the deepest shade here, which is that dark chocolatey brown. And I'm gonna focus this lower on the outer corner, just right here. So I'm having a little bit of fallout with this shade, but nothing crazy. And then going back in with that brush, and we're just going to pretty much blend everything. So for the lid, I think I am gonna go into this duochrome shift. I feel like a lot of people are gonna gravitate towards the green, and we may play with that. This one just has a little bit of a duochrome shift, so I'll swatch both of them together. So you can see the green is just more of that gold green, and then this one has that duochrome kind of shift, and I just wanna play around. I'm gonna use my finger, and I'm just gonna use it dry and see kind of what kind of payoff we can get here. Looks pretty nice. That's dry, so I don't think you need to wet it. You can if you'd like to. And again, not much fallout from these, which is nice. So I'm actually gonna jump into this really pretty bright gold color. Woo, that one is intense. It's probably the most intense in the palette. And I'm gonna pop this just a little bit, like right on the lid here. And then I'm just gonna take my finger, and I wanna just kind of blend both of these together. So there's no harsh lines. So you can see there's a little bit of fallout here, mostly from that dark shade and the shimmers, but nothing crazy. I'm gonna pop off camera and do my lashes and liner, and then we will come back and play around with the sponges and the lip product. So I did my liner and lashes. I wanna go in now with the sponges. So this is the bigger sponge. It's very, very soft. It has a flat side here, and then it's got that avocado shape. It's really cute. And then you have the mini sponge. So I'm gonna use this for my foundation, and I'm gonna be using my NARS foundation today. I'm gonna mix Stromboli and Valaris just because neither shade is perfect for me, so I kind of mix them together. So I guess I'll start with the flat side. It's very soft. It really does remind me of the Fenty Beauty sponge. And it's quite large, so it gets the area covered quickly. I think people are really gonna love this just because it's cute, but it's also functional. So my first impression on this sponge is it's cute, but also functional. It feels really nice, blends beautifully, covers a large surface area. I'm gonna go in next with concealer. I have the Too Faced Born This Way concealer in Shortbread. So I'm applying this right in the inner corner of my eye here. And then I am gonna take my Kimchi Chic Beauty. I use this on the outer portion just to really lift the face. This is the Multitask Superstar Concealer in medium beige. It's a little bit light, so I like to use it to clean up my wing and just bring brightness. I'll go ahead and try the tiny little sponge right here, and it actually probably would do a good job just getting right up in here. It might be good for detailing work. I feel like I would lose this, to be honest, but I love the avocado one. So I feel like this is just kind of like a cute accent, which it is, yeah, useful, I guess. But for me, I would probably just go in for this. So I'm gonna actually turn this over and use the other side to blend. It's very soft, you guys. I think people will really love this sponge. Because it's so soft, you can kind of manipulate it to make it into what you'd like it to be. But you can also use this, which is quite large, if you want to move quickly. So I can really get in there if I need to, or again, you could go in with the smaller sponge. I just prefer to use this. All right, I have no complaints with this sponge. I actually really like it. It covers a ton of area quickly for foundation, but you can also really pinch it if you need to get right in the center of your under eye. So I really like it. I think this is probably my favorite out of what I've tried today, although the palette was pretty too. So I'm gonna finish the rest of my face and we'll come back and work on the lower lash line and the lips. All right, so I went ahead and finished my face off camera. I will link everything I used down below, but I wanna go on to the lower lash line now and then move on to the lip gloss. So I think for this, I'm gonna start off with actually this really dark shade here. And I think I'm just gonna do something quite simple. Start on the outer corner here. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of the brown here just to smoke underneath. So definitely having some fallout here, so just keep that in mind. So I think I'm gonna leave the eyes there and we're gonna go on to the lip gloss. This is the Make It Hot Lip Plumping Gloss. So I did apply a lip liner and just a little dab of lipstick. This is very sheer. It looks, you know, bright in the tube, but it really is sort of just like that clear lip gloss with a little tiny bit of that like red tint. So I wanna see if I can feel, ooh, it smells like Big Red. I wanna see if I can feel the plumping. So I'm gonna give it a couple minutes. So it's been a few minutes. I definitely feel a tingle, but it doesn't hurt. It's not prickly. It just feels like a really minty, big red gum on your lips. All right, guys, here's my finished makeup look using the new e.l.f. and Chipotle collaboration. So I want to tell you my thoughts, starting off with the palette. I think that it's good quality. I didn't have any issues. The shades were pigmented. I will say they're a little bit powdery, and my least favorite shade would be the dark shade here. It took some building up, but the green shade really wowed me and worked perfectly. And I think the shimmers are beautiful. I didn't use them wet, so I would imagine if you do, they would pump up even more. I know e.l.f. is raising their prices, but I think with that comes better quality, and I think that's why they're doing that. So for me, this is good quality. I didn't struggle with it, and of course, if you love Chipotle, you'll get a kick out of it. But if you actually want to use it to create looks and you love the color story, I think it'll work nicely for you. Moving on to my personal favorite, the sponge set. I have to say, just adorability, but also, is that a word? Just the adorableness of this, how cute it is. It really just is, it's freaking cute. I mean, it's a little avocado sponge, but I will say the functionality of this is great. This really got my foundation on quickly using the flat side, and then again, you can pinch it and get right where you need to go. Super nice quality, but also just very adorable. I probably won't use this much, but $10 for a sponge I think is a fair price, so I would totally recommend this. In terms of the gloss, I feel like it's a nice quality. It's quite sheer, so it's not really gonna be anything different from probably what you have in your collection. It has that big red scent, but it has a nice cooling feel. I have to say it feels nice, almost like you're chewing mint gum. It's not burning or anything like that. I can't really see much plumping because any gloss is gonna make your lips look plumper. I think it's cute, and if you're gonna pick up the whole collection, you'll get use out of it, but there's nothing spectacular about it, whereas I feel like this is just Super cute and functional, and the palette performed well. I feel like this is probably my least favorite product from the collection just because I already have it. And in terms of the makeup bag, I have to say it's just hilarious. It's a cute touch. You're gonna buy it to collect it or for the novelty of it. You can definitely use it. It's functional, but for me, it's like if you're hanging out with your girlfriends and you yank this out, they're like, what do you got, like Chipotle chips in your bag? And you're like, no, it's my makeup bag. So it's definitely cute. It gives me a laugh. Do I think it's worth 18 bucks? I don't know. I personally probably wouldn't buy it, but I do think it's a cute touch that they did. So that is everything for this e.l.f. and Chipotle collaboration. Let me know your thoughts down below, whether you got a chuckle out of it or you really want to purchase it. I think the products are actually nice and they perform beautifully, but I just think I'm so drawn to it because I'm a Chipotle lover. And that first and foremost got me sucked in, but I have to say, the sponge just kills me every time. So I will link the information down below. It's not gonna be available yet, but I'll have all the information down below if you wanna check it out. If you're new here, I hope you like this video and you'll subscribe. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.